What do you think your company loses when you hire the wrong person? Research indicates that the cost of a wrong hire can cost your organization anywhere from 1 to 3 years of that person's salary. We believe that every applicant should go through 3 qualifiers before being hired, and the applicant must get a pass on at least 2 of them. The first is the interview. Make sure there are at least 2 people in the room, one of them being the Manacoach. One person is asking a set of written questions and the other person is observing. We recommend the Manacoach observes. Ask open-ended questions. There is one question we highly recommend you always ask, and it came from Patrick Lencioni. Tell us about your top achievement in business. Listen carefully to the response to determine if the response is status-based or achievement-based. If you get a response like, "When I got promoted from junior manager to senior manager," this is a status response. An achievement-based response might be, "When the sale rested on me getting a project done, I worked for 32 hours straight without sleep, and we got the deal." Evaluate the company's core values in determining your questions. And also ask yourself, if the job could talk, what would it say it needs? Compile questions around that. The interview is a good time to administer tests to evaluate the applicant's ability for the job. If it's a bookkeeper position, give the applicant competency tests in bookkeeping. The second qualifier is a thorough reference check. Just don't go with the names provided. See if you can get those companies to give you previous places the applicant worked, and names that weren't provided to check those out. The most important question for every reference is this: if you had a position open, would you hire this individual back? If the reference hesitates, or they say they don't have a position, or in a number of ways they stall in answering or avoid answering, they have answered the question for you. Think about someone that was the best employee you ever had. What would you say? You wouldn't hesitate in answering, and they wouldn't be able to keep you quiet. It's easy for the Manacoach not to do due diligence in reference checks, but it can be devastating if you don't. Resumes and reference letters can be extremely deceiving. The third qualifier is a behavior assessment. There are assessments offered by companies like Colby, TTI Performance, Myers-Briggs, and a number of other very reputable companies that provide these. We have been supplying and are certified in behavior assessments for over 15 years, and they work. Take 100 people and you can basically split them into 2 groups, people and paper people. With those 2 groups, you can split them into 2 more groups of introverts and extroverts. Depending what degree they fall into each of the 4 quadrants, we can predict a lot of things about them. Based on over 200 years of psychologists observing these various behaviors, reliable patterns have been identified. We know that a Manacoach has a high sense of people awareness, and she is resourceful and always open to learning. The tools we use can identify these traits in applicants. Doesn't it make sense to fill a sales position, we want an extroverted people person, and for reviewing contracts, we want an introverted analytical person? With behavior assessments, you don't have to find out if their behavior style fits the job. We know that teams do better when they understand their own behavior styles first, and then those of their teammates. We help our clients with this process all the time because it reduces the chances of a wrong hire and increases success. At the end of the day, your applicant must impress you at least with 2 of the 3 qualifiers to be considered for hiring. Have an employee contract that stipulates things like policy, holidays, and especially terms of severance, should they be let go. As long as your contract meets government regulations and the applicant signs it before being hired, you have a good chance of enforcing it later. Have a folder ready to give and go over with applicants which sells them on the benefits of working for you. Your detailed benefit plan, your holiday structure, employee bonuses and events, and your core values could be enclosed. Ask your employees why they like working at the company. You might find out things you never knew, and you could include them as testimonials in the folder to sell the applicant you want. Remember that A players have lots of offers when they are looking, so you need to impress them as much as they need to impress you. Many companies forget this. Don't be desperate to hire no matter what the market conditions. No hire is better than the wrong hire. And if they aren't impressing you and knocking you off your feet from minute 1, decide what you're prepared to tolerate and act immediately. Do this procedure right and you'll leave the B players for your competition to hire. I'm Kevin Armstrong at the Interdependent Training Group, www.themiraclemanager.com.